Hello, this is Krystine, the Beauty Pro coach, and I am here as your host on the Beauty Pro podcast. And today I have Allannah Zilkowsky. And what she is going to be sharing with us is probably something you're not even expecting, like not even close. So I'm very excited for her to just share who she is, what she does, and this amazing surprise. Hello, Allannah.
Hello.
So let's
Thank you
just
so much for having me.
thank you for agreeing to come on here. We actually met through Threads. Do you even go on Threads anymore?
No, I don't think so. I think I was like hard into it for 4 days and I was just like, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. I haven't been on it. I keep getting like notices on it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll come back to that later. And it doesn't happen. But I'm not giving up. But it's more like a time waster, I think, right?
I don't need another thing on my to-do list, honestly.
Okay, so tell everybody who you are, because this I'm excited for everybody to know.
Okay, so well, hello. I am Alannah. I am a hairstylist. I'm a salon owner. I live all the way in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I've been in the hair industry for over 15 years. Outside of the salon, I'm an amateur beekeeper, I'm a scuba diver, I'm a rescue dog mom, plant lover, and world traveler.
Love.
About 2 years ago, I started Breeze Web Designs, doing web design and maintenance and updating specifically for hair salons and hairstylists so that I could start pulling back from behind the chair and have an ability to earn an income working remotely. So I am able to volunteer more with HairAid, which is what I am here to talk about today.
Oh my gosh, so many good things. I love the beekeeper part. After our recording, I am actually going to get some local honey for my beagle baby. He's having like severe
Hmm.
like allergy attacks. So that's so great. I love that you're a rescue dog mom. I just love all the things. Okay. Really quickly, we're going to talk about HairAid in just a minute,
Hmm.
but maybe you get this question a lot too, where a lot of people will slide into my DMs and they'll be like, Krystine, you're a coach. Let me tell you what I need help with. I need help with getting more clients, and I need so my social media game needs to be good, and tell me what to do. And I'm always like, well, XYZ. But here you are and you're like, I build websites. So how did that even happen? Like, I mean, I heard you say it before, you wanted to work, have a second income, but like, why online? Like, why Breeze? Why?
So I was in Costa Rica 2 years ago, January 2021, and COVID kind of started
Oh,
peaking again in Canada. Clients were canceling, so we actually extended our trip for 2 more weeks because I had no clients to go home to. Everyone was sick again,
yeah.
and I was just like, man, like this is the life. Like this is what I would love to do. I had two friends on vacation and my husband with me, and my two friends are very fortunate to work remotely. So they're just like whipping out their laptop, hanging by the pool, working for a couple hours, and then we go for lunch. And I'm just like, huh, like I really love this life and could do more of this, but I love our industry. I got
Mhm.
a job in a salon when I was 15. I
Mhm.
couldn't imagine not working in our beautiful industry and working with hairstylists. And I personally had built my own website and naturally helped friends with theirs as well. And what I was finding is that social media can be exhausting, the Instagram, the Facebook, the groups, and everything like that. And I am not big into it, but I've created a website where I get around 10 to 15 new client requests a month that are perfect target market clients. And I maybe post on Instagram 3 to 4 times a month on my personal hair page because my website brings me that traffic. So I was helping friends with that. And at one point in time, my best friend, who's also a salon owner, was at my house with a bottle of wine. I'm showing her how to make a website. And she was just like, throws her hands up in the air and is like, can I just pay you to do this? Like, I don't want to learn how to do this. Like, I'm sure I could, right? For a while, our industry was like, hashtag boss babe, one woman show, you can do it all. And it's like, I don't want to be a videographer, a social media marketer, a photographer, an editor, email marketer, and a website designer. So what I do is I just take that off your plate. I do that for people. I update their website monthly, all those things. And it's beautiful. And I love it. And I love the direction that my career is going that way.
I love that. I might be messaging you for some website updates, like just FYI BTW. But anyway, I love that you love that, because my background is, I went to university. I do have a couple degrees. One is PR, it's strategy, it's a form of marketing, and it can be fun, especially as a creative. You can just like move things around, and just, it's all about aesthetic, Yeah. So tell me about, or talk to everybody about what has been, I guess, your biggest struggle up until this point, right? Because we all have a story. That was, you were on vacation and you noticed, like, wait a second, something is not right. But let's dive a little deeper. Like, what's been your biggest struggle as a human being?
I thought, well, just finding that balance, I think, in work life. And like I said, I got a job in a salon when I was 15. I absolutely love our industry. And I also love traveling. And we try not to talk about the COVID thing, but
I know.
within the space of a couple weeks, when everything got shut down, my two things that I defined myself by, which is like a hairstylist, a salon owner, and a traveler, got removed. So I went through a bit of an identity crisis of like, who am I if I'm not a hairstylist and I can't travel? What do I still enjoy? How do I define my life? And really came out of it being like, I still love our industry. I still love what I do, but there needs to be a more cognitive balance so we don't define ourselves by those things. And I've seen it in friends in the industry who say maybe develop an allergy or break their wrist, and you have this like, who am I if I can't be a salon owner, or things like that. And really making sure that you have like a beautiful, well-balanced life outside of the salon.
Yeah, I totally hear that. I remember when I was going through my crisis, and every so often, I don't know if this happens to you, but every so often I kind of like find myself back there, like, what am I doing? Oh, I got it. I'm doing this. Oh, okay. And it like takes me like maybe a day or a couple hours to kind of get out of that. So what about, tell everybody what you're here for. What is HairAid?
So, and you know what, HairAird was one of those beautiful things that came to me, and like talking about finding your why in life, right? It's why you're here, what fills you up, what really makes you feel like your skills and what you're doing is making a difference. And not that behind the chair isn't like this, but HairAird has just been such a phenomenal thing in my life. So for anyone who doesn't know what HairAird is an Australian charity that has been around for about 12 years, and they have international volunteer projects in Indonesia, Philippines, Cambodia, Thailand, and recently they just added Guatemala. And it is teaching women basic haircutting skills so that they have the ability to earn an income and support their family.
Oh my God, I literally have goosebumps right now. Like, it hurts. Okay. So HairAid, it's out of Australia. Are these, I mean, of course they have to be, right? Professional stylists who are just doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They're going to these countries and they're teaching the locals to cut hair.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It is hairstylists sharing their skills and teaching people and making a difference in their lives. So it's volunteer, it's out of the goodness of your heart to really pass that knowledge along.
Okay, so how did you discover these people? What have you done? What are you going to continue to do? Like, just tell us everything.
So I found out about HairAid about 6 years ago. One of my heroes, hair people, is Tabatha Coffey. We all
Ah!
know and love her.
I love her.
I know. I grew up binge watching Tabitha Salon Takeover and like really like formed me as a hairstylist. She's phenomenal.
Yes.
And
Yes, I
so
love
she,
her.
yeah, so she volunteered,
Hopefully she'll get on the podcast. Tabitha,
right?
please. Please. Okay, continue.
So she volunteered with HairAid in a Cambodia trip 6 or 7 years ago, posted about it on her Facebook. And I was like, hold up, what is this amazing charity?
Yeah.
Started following HairAid and learned what it was about, learned what it stood for and what it does, and started looking at when there was going to be a project that I could volunteer and travel to that lined up with my schedule.
Oh my goodness, and that fits you completely because you are a traveler and this is part of like who you are. And it's hair. Oh my God, that's so cool. Okay, so you've only gone to Indonesia, or have you been to the other countries too?
So I've been to the Philippines, and I've been to the Philippines twice volunteering with HairAid. They typically do that in January, which lines up really well with my schedule.
Mm.
But I would love to, as much as I really love the Philippines and the country and the people there, I do think the next project I do will be at a different location, just to switch it up and see what else the other countries kind of bring to the table and the experiences I can have there.
So so how does this work? I mean, obviously you got to have your passport and all that, right? But how does it work? Do you go and you sign up with them? You're like, okay, I'm going to go to this country at this time at this place. And like, how do you communicate? Like, you're not going to speak the same language. Like, how do you go and you teach, and how do you like walk us through this?
Okay, so I'll split that into two. So the first one would be like how to sign up for the project. It's
Okay.
pretty simple. You go onto the HairAid website, which I'm sure you'll have linked in the show notes. I
Yeah.
think it's like hairaid.au.org. They'll
Okay.
have all the listings for the 2024 projects, their dates, Philippines, February to this, Indonesia in June, etc. And then you find one that lines up with your dates, you put a deposit down, and they'll start sending you communications on, booking flights, insurance, things like that. So HairAid has really streamlined the process to sign up and be a volunteer.
Okay. Okay.
And
then when you get there, then what happens? Like how you just like
so when you get there,
you just show up and you're like, hey, these are my scissors, this is my comb, look, we're just gonna cut. Like, how do you do this? Like, how does this work?
I mean, literally. So it's a week-long volunteer project. On the first day, what happens is everyone from around the world, I was the only Canadian, there was people from the States, a lot of people from Australia, England, Sweden. First day, you get the kits put together. So everything from HairAid is donated. So you create a kit for the trainees. So at the end of the week, when they've successfully completed the training program, which isn't a given, they do have to show some proficiencies in the hair cutting. They will get a business in a bag, which is a pencil case with a pair of scissors, 4 clips, and a comb. And we call that a business in the bag because at the end of that, they can start making money with that kit.
Oh my God, that is so cool. That is so cool. And I'm happy that they are kind of I guess screened ahead of time, because you don't want to just like grab anybody and be like, here you go, this is how you cut hair. They actually show some kind of interest before you guys get there.
Absolutely. So these are women who are very interested in learning. And so then day 1, putting the kits together. Day 2, you're on location training. Morning, you meet the trainees. You show them how to greet a client, how to do a consultation, how to cape the client, and how to do a basic 4 sections. And then in the afternoon, you're showing them how to hold a pair of scissors, how to cut, how to sanitize and take care of their scissors, and then how to do a 1-length haircut. So at the end of the first day, they have done a blunt 1-line haircut, one-line haircut on a live model.
Oh my God. Okay. Do they have any follow-up afterwards? Like, do they have their own cosmetology schools in these countries, or is this just like a one and done kind of thing?
So all of the countries that we go to do have formal like cosmetology programs to work
Okay.
in salons with licensing and
Okay.
things like that. That's not what we're doing here. We're teaching very basic haircutting skills for people who live in like base level poverty so that they
Okay.
can cut their neighbor's hair, become their community's hair cutter,
Okay.
things like that. And there are some superstars in the program who just, you know, the people who just, they pick it up and they're just rock stars. And HairAid does have connections to help those people get, say, scholarships to go into hair schools, get jobs in salons and things like that.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Okay, so describe how your life changed just by doing this, because you first find out about something like this and you're like, "Oh yeah, that would be so cool to do," right? And then you go out and you do it and you come back changed, right? Like there's no way that you go to these places and you don't come back changed. So what was that change for you? Like, who were you before, and then who are you now that you've done it a couple times?
I think the main difference is just a humbling and a perspective on your life.
Mm,
So, you know, you stop feeling so sorry for yourself and you get a new appreciation for your life and what we have. Not to say that, you know, we haven't gone through struggles
yeah.
and things like that, but for myself, I wake up in the morning, I have a roof over my head, I have food in my stomach, I have running water and electricity, and that's a privilege that our trainees don't have. So the perspective on that, and then the appreciation for the skills that we have. You can quite literally in a week travel to the other side of the world, share your skills and knowledge, and change people's lives. And that just, the love that I have for our industry just grew so much more, and the impact that we can have is just beautiful.
Oh my God, that's really cool. Yeah, for sure. Do you feel like before you went, you thought, okay, did you feel like you thought like, wow, I am gonna go and I'm gonna dedicate my time to this and it's gonna be so awesome and I'm gonna be great. And then, or did you go out like, I don't know what to expect. Like this is gonna be crazy.
You know what, like kind of a little bit of both. I went in being like, this is
Okay.
going to be fun, this is going to be a cool experience and everything, and then I came back and was like, wow, like that, I don't know what I expected, but that wasn't it, and it was just so much more.
Yeah, that's so cool. I feel like I'm on like repeat because I am literally in shock. Like if you are listening right now, like my mouth is open the whole time. Like I have to remember to like shut it because I'm just like in awe of this. Like this is amazing. I can't wait to look this up and everything. So were you able to even see Tabatha? Was she there?
No, she was volunteer on the project that I was
Man.
on, unfortunately. But I have met her. I met her about 10 years ago at the Toronto ABA, and she signed my book. I have a picture of me with her, and she signed my book.
I'm telling you, I love her. Tabatha is one of the reasons why I actually became an internationally certified life and business coach for beauty and barber pros. Like I, like you, I would binge her show and I was like, oh my, it was her show and another show about a salon in New Jersey. And I don't know. I would just like sit there and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can do this, you know? So I just love her. Oh, I'm so happy that you love her too. Um,
Mhm.
so how have you implemented what you've learned with HairAid into your everyday life behind the chair with your current clients?
Well, so one of the interesting things about HairAid is when you're teaching your skills, you
Mm-hmm.
really realize how many terrible habits that you have,
Oh
how
no.
lazy you get with sectioning,
Yep.
how your posture is awful and you're not, you know, doing things properly. And when you're then teaching that to someone, you really get snapped into like, oh yeah, clean sections and things like that. So one of the unintended benefits is I came back and I was a lot more on the ball with my haircutting skills.
Oh my God. Did you totally tell your clients about this experience? Like, what did they have to say?
100%. It really, getting your clients involved in this can be really beautiful as well, because you're showing your clients that you're not just about making money, you're about giving back, you're about supporting people learning and improving their lives. And it was absolutely something I talked about pretty much with all my clients. They got really, really involved and supported. It helps with pre-booking your clients and creating that stability in your schedule, because you're like, well, I'm going to be gone for these 2 weeks. So we need to either pre-book you before I leave or when I come back. And they're like, oh, where are you going? I'm going to the Philippines to teach hairdressing. And then they want to hear more about it. So getting your clients involved and supporting you in it. And, it really helps build the relationship that you're not, just a hairdresser. You're really about more than that.
What about your family? What did they say when you're like, okay, I'm going to the Philippines, bye?
My family's pretty used to that. I went like backpacking through Colombia. I've gone all over Southeast Asia and Morocco. They're just like, where are you going to next? And I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. And they're like, it's cool. They're pretty used to it.
They're like, there she goes again. Okay.
Yeah.
Did they see a difference in you think, when you came back?
I think so. Everyone really could tell how impactful it was and how much I just really wanted to integrate that ability to give back and share my skills on a wider ability.
Okay, so
that's one of the reasons. I want to be sharing about HairAid, because it's just, I didn't know about it until I knew about it, and then I had to get involved. And the amount of hairdressers, especially in North America, because it is an Australian charity, who have never heard about it before. So I'm like, just getting the word out there, and now you know about it. So
now listener, now you have no excuse.
Right?
No excuse. Now you gotta go. So, okay. So you're basically like an unofficial spokesperson for these people, for HairAid.
Yeah, I just wanted to spread the gospel about the good word of HairAid.
So HairAid, listen up. This is Allannah. You need to hire her. Like, this is happening. You're welcome. But anyway, so what would you say is an important trait or a strength that a beauty or barber pro needs to have going out there to wherever it is?
You know what? I think any trait and strength that you would need, you already have by being in our industry and knowing the skills. Like, you already have everything that you need inside of you to be able to successfully do it. You just have to step out of your comfort zone and take the plunge and do it. But everything that you need, you already have.
Oh, that was awesome. Okay, and then what about, shifting gears a little bit, what about for stylists who do want to learn how to create their own website? Like, what would you tell them? Because this is like a 2-in-1 podcast episode right now. So like a stylist who wants to do their own website, what do they need to have to do that?
Well, to make your own website, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think it's actually that hard to make your own website on Squarespace. My clientele is more people who are like, I'm sure I could figure this out on my own, but I don't want to. I want to go and work and make money behind the chair and then pay someone to do my website. But I think doing a website on your own is totally doable. It's just like anything in life. It's an exchange of time or money. Do you want to spend more time learning how to make a website and updating it monthly and all those things? Or would you rather have more time on your plate, but extend the money to have someone else do it? So there's always that balance. But for someone who wants to do it on their own, the number one thing that I think you need to be successful in having a website is to have professional branding pictures done. So to put that money out, to have a beautiful branding photo shoot done of you in your salon, working on clients, picking some color off of the shelf, washing a client's hair out, really clean, crisp, high quality pictures will elevate your website 100%. And it is basically a requirement to having a really well put together website, is to have those branding pictures.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. I actually just got some done for myself, so stay
Mhm.
tuned for that. But 100%. I mean, selfies don't cut it. You cannot have a selfie on there. I heard you say that you use Square or Squarespace? Squarespace.
Squarespace. So Squarespace is not the same as Square Up, which is the payment processing terminal, and they're very close. And Square Up has their own version of a website. It's, in my opinion, not what you need to have like a really in-depth SEO based, personalized branded website. It is great. I use it as a terminal, like for my clients to pay through. Squarespace is a really well-made, balanced website design program.
Yeah. Okay. Do you use other programs too, like WordPress or anything like that, or you just stick with the one company for these websites?
I personally just work with Squarespace. It's where I have like extended design training. It's where I think much like a lot of things in our industry, I think if you specialize in one thing, I know Squarespace, I'm a Squarespace circle designer. I get extended training on it. I'm really well versed in that. And I feel like if I learned other platforms, it would be spreading myself over those platforms and not being able to get as much in-depth knowledge about them.
So when you're doing the websites, how many days behind the chair are you? Because it's a
So
lot of things.
yeah. So I'm behind the chair about 2 to 3 days a week right now. And my goal is to move that down to 2 days in about 6 to 8 months. And then I have dedicated time 2 to 3 days a week where I work exclusively on websites.
Okay, so that's a pretty good balance for like behind the chair, at home. Good for you, girl. I'm all about
Mhm.
it. Okay. So what's a common myth between everything that you've done from HairAid to the websites to working behind the chair? What's that a common myth that you get from a lot of people, whether it's clients or family or whatever?
Um, I think there's two. One is passive income. Like there's no such
Mm,
thing as passive income. And I think that's become a buzzword lately of like, oh, how do I get this or passive this and side hustle this? And it's like nothing easy isn't done with a lot of hard work. And I think
mhm.
there's kind of this like, if it's too good to be true, get rich quick schemes, like it's not a real thing. Um, so I think that would tie into, um, just because someone makes it look easy doesn't mean it is easy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that there wasn't 3 to 5 years and hundreds of hours of work behind the scenes for you to get that like one pretty social media picture where it looks like you've got it all together.
Mm.
There was a lot of work behind the scenes to get there that I think our friends and family don't see a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. I am in total agreement with everything you just said because I feel like our friends and family, they know I hate to say it this way, but like they know like the fun side of us,
Mhm.
but they don't really know like the business side of us. And when that side of us comes out, they're like, whoa, what? Like their head spins a little bit. And we're like, well, come on,
Mhm.
let's go. We got things to do, like we throw them off in a weird way. But yeah, the passive piece, it's not, there's a lot of work behind the easy stuff, just like you said. So what's the most nourishing part of doing these websites for other beauty pros?
I love the success stories. I love hearing about clients who, they're emailing me being like, I need to change my prices on my website because my demand is so high. I love hearing about just the success that having a well-branded website that brings clients to you can provide for a hairstylist, especially because if you're doing that successfully, you can really
Mhm.
turn down your other marketing techniques. Like I said, social media is still really important.
Mm.
There's a place for it, but it's also good not to just rely on that, because what happens if Instagram goes down tomorrow and then never comes back? Or what happens if you're like Twitter and all of a sudden you go from being super popular to obsolete in 6 months. So it's a good security to have a website, but it is really fulfilling when I hear people who are getting new clients from their website and saying like, oh, you've really taken this off my plate and I don't have to think about it. And that's great.
And you manage it for them, right? Is that what I heard you say before? Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does this work? Like from an owner's perspective to even somebody who might want to do this themselves for their community. Like how does that work? Is it packaging? Is it per the hour? Like how does this? Yeah.
So I have custom website design, which is like you don't have a website at all. We build it from scratch. A lot of my clients have websites that are just on other platforms that are outdated, need updating, need modernizing. So I can duplicate and update on Squarespace. But what most of my clients do, and my main service is my white glove monthly maintenance service. So for $67 a month, I take your website updating and maintenance off your plate. And once a month, I send you your Google Analytics, your SEO for review, and any prompts for updates. So you get access to me as your website designer for unlimited text, image, layout updates, and backend SEO and keyword updates. So basically, you have a website designer in your back pocket.
When you started in cosmetology school, going to make this your profession, did you have any idea, any clue that you would be where you are now when you first started?
No, in no way. I've changed my path on the industry quite a few times, and people can. So when I got a job in a salon when I was 15, it was after I was a hair model on stage for one of the ABA shows, and I got my hair cut off on stage. And from like down, like past collarbone into like this super cute mohawk on stage. And I was like, this is amazing. I need to be a part of it. So when I got into the industry, I did a lot of competition work. I was in the Contessas, in Nahas, allied beauty shows on stage, live cutting shows. That's where I thought I wanted to go, into that, like a session artist, stage artist. Then I moved into salon ownership, and after salon ownership, I'm still a salon owner. Once HairAid came into my life, that was what I pivoted to. So there's so many different paths you can take on this industry, but I definitely didn't think I would be here talking to you on a podcast.
That's so awesome that I am part of your evolutionary experience. This is great. Thank you. But I love that. When I first started actively being in the salon, I was 15 as well, maybe a little younger. I don't remember. And I was sweeping floors in my mom's salon. And it's very interesting when we look back, we're like, no, I thought I was going to be like main stage all the time, every day. And now here I am going to these countries and doing this and that. Like, that's how empowered do you feel just by this conversation about that alone?
Like, absolutely. And I think it's so important. Sometimes we're always like, goal setting and striving for more, to sometimes take a step back and be like, wow, like, look how far I've come. 15-year-old me sweeping the salon would be like, you're a badass. This is great. Right. So just having that self-reflection and appreciation can be really beautiful and powerful. So we're not always just like, what's next?
Yeah. Okay, so with this experience and working behind the chair and doing these competitions and all these that you were doing, what's something that you wish that family, friends, lawyers, doctors, whoever, what's something that you wish that they would learn about just people in general?
I think we're so customer service based that we have an appreciation and like a bit of a perspective on what people go through on a day-to-day or monthly, because we see our clients every 6, 8, 12 weeks, and just a little bit more compassion that everyone's going through things in their life. And it could be a bad day for someone. They could have had some really bad news, or they could be having the best day of their life, and just having a little bit more understanding and compassion for others in our lives. Because could be something I think everyone could do a little more.
A little more love, baby. A little more love. That's all. I love that. Absolutely. So we're getting close to the end of our time together, but what do you have going on right now in any of these areas of your life that our listeners can reach out to you and be a part of, if anything?
I think really just helping spread the word about HairAid. It's an Australian charity, so not a lot of North American exposure, and just spreading the word about the amazing things that this charity is doing so that more people know about it. They can get more volunteers and they can train more people and impact more lives. Just really helping to get the word out about it.
Absolutely. Heck yeah. I'm going to tell everybody. Okay, so what's one question that I didn't ask that you wish I did, and how would you have answered?
Oh, I think you kind of nailed it. You rocked it out of the park. You've asked all the questions. I think, if anyone has any holdups or any what ifs, and they're scared or they don't think they're able to do it, just get out of your comfort zone. And I don't think anyone has ever done a HairAid project that they've come back from and been like, meh, that didn't change my life. That wasn't impactful. I wish I hadn't done. Like, I think it would change your life and it would change other people's, and you just gotta take the plunge and do it.
Oh, I love that. Well, Allannah, I have thoroughly enjoyed our conversation today. I know anybody listening is going to, I feel empowered. I feel motivated. I feel like, yeah, I'm going to go out to the Philippines. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm so excited. So thank you for coming on and sharing. I am putting these very important, life-changing, impactful links in the show notes today. Is there anything that you want to say just before we wrap up?
Thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate it, and giving me the platform to be able to share to your audience about it. And I love what you're doing. I love how you empower hairstylists to really get out of their comfort zone and be better and do better and make beautiful lives for themselves. So thank you so much for having me on here.
Oh my goodness, you are so welcome. Thank you for those words. All right, so this is Krystine, the BeautyPro coach here on the BeautyPro podcast. Thank you for listening to Allannah. Thank you for having some kind of interest. And I hope that you go out and you reach out to HairAid and join the next trip. So that's a wrap for today. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.